Get ready to step into the future. Join us in Cotonou, Benin Republic, on Saturday, November 23, 2024, for the Digital Explore Conference, the ultimate event where innovation meets creativity. This year, our theme is Digital Evolution, Navigating Growth and Innovation. Whether you're a tech enthusiast, an innovator, or someone who just loves to be ahead of the curve, this is where you need to be. Imagine a full day of immersive experiences. We're talking keynote speeches from leading experts, mind-blowing talk shows, and celebrity interviews that give you the inside scoop on the digital landscape. Explore cutting-edge virtual reality games, get inspired by creative arts displays, and groove to amazing live performances and entertainment. It's tech, creativity, and fun, all in one place. Register now at www.digitalexploreconference.com to secure your spot. Come be part of the future. See you in Cotonou, where we'll navigate growth and innovation together. Be there, be inspired, and let's evolve digitally.
He moves in speed, in styles, in different directions. Unbeatable. Because he attends Digital Explore Conference Benin 2024. The 23rd of November. He is. Are you ready? Are you ready to experience digitalization on another level? Don't look too far. It is here. Digital Explore Conference, which will be held on 23rd November 2024 in Cotonou, Benin Republic. Have you ever imagined where the greatest minds are gathered in one place?
Explorer Conférence, pour ma part, c'est une conférence qui viendra révolutionner le monde digital au Bénin.
Inventors, investors, business owners, and experts in different fields will be there. It is fun, it's cultural, and it's innovative. Expect seasoned and mind-blowing speakers, talk shows, live performances, panel discussions, art, games, fashion, and 1,500 attendees. This program is for students and digital enthusiasts, working professionals, and business owners. Come and learn how to use the digital space to build your business, services, and career. Will you be there? Register now.
Je serai là.
Hello guys, Digital Explore Conference 2024. You need to be there. Don't tell me you're not going to be there. I will be there. Digital Explore Conference 2024. I will be there.
So go straight to our website now at www.digitalexploreconference.com and register. I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to have you. So see you at Digital Explore Conference 2024. Peace. Great news, Benin Republic. My name is Dan, and I'm the team leader at Goje Media Agency. And I'm using this avenue to invite you for the Digital Explore Conference 2024, which is happening live here in Cotonou on the 23rd of November of this year. You can't afford to miss it. You can't afford not to be there. It's going to be massive. It's going to be explosive. We are having a lot of speakers from the US, from Nigeria, and we are also having participants from neighboring countries like Ghana, from Togo, from Nigeria as well. A lot of things are going to be happening there. A lot of investors are going to be present. A lot of business opportunities to be made, to network and do a lot of things. So go straight to our website now at www.digitalexploreconference.com and register. I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to have you. So see you at Digital Explore Conference 2024.
Yeah, we're live. We're live. We've been waiting for this day. We've been preparing. We've been working behind the scenes. This is our first inaugural DEC 2024. And I know people are logging in from everywhere. Just keep liking, sharing, getting this message out there. This event is very important to me because it's an opportunity for us to transfer knowledge and also resources, connecting people across the oceans. Many of us are based in US and some are based in Africa, and that bridge is happening in this time. You want to be part of this movement, so go ahead and do your little part or do your big part. Go ahead and start sharing it through your network. And we're just going to wait a few minutes because we have a great speaker that is going to come up right now, which is so relevant for this event. You don't want to miss it. You want to make sure your friends know about it, your family knows about it, your parents know about it, everybody knows about it. Go ahead and start sharing it in your network right now. We're live right now on YouTube. We're live YouTube Couple Studios. I know some of you are streaming right there. We're waving our hands to you wherever you are. We're live also on Instagram. We're live on Facebook. So keep on sharing, keep on connecting. We want to get this message out there. This is a season that we're in right now, that there's a digital revolution going on. Some of you are already aware about how artificial intelligence is taking over the world, but you see, you have to position yourself so that you can be part of that movement. You don't want to miss this move. So keep on sharing, keep on pushing it out there as we get ready for our next speaker that is coming up. I'm going to check the comments right now. If there's anybody out there, I want you to just shout out where you are, whether you're in Nigeria, you're in Benin Republic, or you're in Houston, Texas, because, hey, Houston, Texas, I'm over here in Houston, Texas. Maybe you're from Atlanta, wherever you are, I want you to just type it in the chat message. And as you're chatting it, mention somebody that you believe that will be blessed with this program that we're launching today, that you know they need a technical know-how. We have great speakers that are going to share some insights that you don't want to miss. So I'm going to look through the chat right now. We have all these windows open. So please go ahead and start sharing it in your network so we can get this out there. Awesome, awesome. So look what we have here now. Awesome. So it looks like all our streams is going fine. Yeah. And also, for you to connect with our speakers, you see at the bottom of the screen, I have the scrolling going by. So if you have any questions for the speaker, you can post that comment on social media and we'll find a way for us to respond to your questions. So we're going to give like 2 more minutes. while we're getting this live, we have people logging in. We want to make sure that everybody is logged in while we get this. We don't want you to miss this. We don't want to miss this. Awesome. This is going to be great. I am so excited. I hope you are. Go ahead and share. That's share it, liking, loving, do everything you can do. Oh my God, this is awesome. Okay, let's see what we got. Yeah. People are awesome. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I see Babatunde here. Wow, Pastor Show, thank you for supporting. Thank you for all the people that are joining right now. This is so awesome. All right, let's keep it going. Keep sharing. So 60 more seconds and we're going to go live with our next speaker. Awesome. Let's see, just checking the chat right here so that if there's anybody that needs any help, looks like all our streams are good. If you're on any platform and it looks like the sound is not good, please just post there, sound not good, so that way we can fix that as soon as possible. Okay, so we are ready for the next speaker that is going to be coming up. And I'm just going to bring up his slide right now. Yeah, so you get to know a little bit about him. Now, this is kind of loading a little slow. I don't know why. Let's see what's going on. Loading. Oh, my goodness. This should load. Technology. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to try something different if this doesn't load, because I need you to know who's coming up and the topic that is coming up as well. Restream is acting funny. So let me try something different. Just give me 1 minute. This thing's, oh, look at it. It loaded. So we have the topic for today is going to be the art of leveraging and achieving digital transformation. We have Dr. Joybert is going to be joining us today. We're really excited to hear and take notes. Please bring out your notepad, write down. There's going to be a lot of nuggets. I talked with him before this event, and one of the things he told me was that he has a lot to share. So I know he's going to bring it concise for this, and you can easily connect with him afterwards. The experience he has, the people that is influenced, you just want to be part of what he's doing as well. So I'm going to bring up the next speaker, the first speaker, our first speaker, and let's do that right now. Da-da-da. Awesome. We have him right here. Dr. Joybert, it's so good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. So good to be part of the virtual summit, and of course to connect, and of course to share, and also to learn.
Yeah, he's based here in Texas too as well, right? I know he travels sometimes to some places, but he's based in Texas, so it's so great to have you here. So I'm going to hand over the stage to you so they can take over from here. You can introduce yourself, tell them a little bit about yourself, and then go into your topic. Awesome.
All right. Awesome. So good to be here, and of course, it's good to have everybody here. Thank you also so much for creating the time. It is such a privilege to have people give you their time and their attention. And I always say that, attention is the most powerful currency right now in this dispensation. So we honor you and we thank you for doing that. And of course, to the team organizing the virtual summit, which is like a big part of the Digital Explore conference that will be happening in Benin, in Cotonou. It's such a privilege that you guys, found me worthy, found me competent enough to contribute on your platform, and of course to bring in my experience and my knowledge that can impact the audience. And I'll go straight to my session. I will not be introducing myself because kind of my experience and the work I do is being mixed into what I will be talking about. So in the process, what I'll be talking about, you will learn about me and the work that I do. So I will be talking on the art of leveraging, the art of leverage in achieving digital transformation. And we are in a dispensation where digital transformation is not just a concept. It's not just a popular word or a popular phrase, but it has become a part and parcel of career, business, leadership, politics, economics, anything that you can think of right now, digital transformation is part and parcel of it. Even dating, right? Even getting married. I came across a research that was shared a couple of weeks ago, and 30 years ago, the highest number of the highest place or location where people used to meet and get married was in high school and university. But 30 years after, the highest place where people meet and get married is on the internet. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, what have you, right? So digital transformation is affecting basically every single sector. And it is one of those skills, one of those areas when it comes to knowledge that it is not a nice to have, it becomes a must have. And that is why this conference is critical for everybody to be part and parcel of it. And I can guarantee you that in the next couple of minutes, what I will share with you, whether you're a student, a worker, an executive, an entrepreneur, a leader in whatever sector, what I will share with you can literally redefine the rest of your career in whatever that you do. So, a couple of years ago, I had the privilege of being interviewed in a top global media space. And they were interviewing me based on my speaking experience across different countries. By God's grace, I've been privileged to travel 20 countries, 4 continents to speak, train, consult, and to coach with different people from different sectors. And this journalist asked me, "How did you get here?" And I said something that he actually laughed. I said, "I stumbled on it." I did not set out a couple of years ago to becoming a speaker, a trainer. I always found this. I'm a village boy, raised in a village, grew up in a village, and I came to a town for the first time when I was trying to get to do my secondary school studies. Unlike many people listening to me, you were born in the city, raised in the city, grew up in the city, and of course got a job in the city. But some of us were raised in a village where there is no electricity, there is no pipe-borne water, there are no roads. We see a car once a month, or sometimes once in 2 months, right? So, but I told this journalist that I stumbled on public speaking. I didn't know that I would travel the world to speak, train, consult, and do what I do. And how did that came about? The backstory is on the art of leverage when it comes to digital transformation. So at that time, in a small town in the northwest region of Cameroon known as Kombo, it's a semi-urban area, a semi-urban town at that time, a couple of years ago. Electricity was being rationed. And I can remember vividly, we used to anticipate that we'll have electricity about 3 to 4 hours every day. So you need to program yourself very well. And at that time, internet was very, very minimal. I'm talking about the bandwidth, the strength of it, unlike now where some people may have, 230 megabytes per second. At that time, when we have 15 kilobytes per second, we are very excited that internet is so good. So to give you perspective, to get a video, a 30 minutes video uploaded on the internet on YouTube at a time would take about 2 days. I'm literally telling you the truth, right? So, and at that time, I started a training center known as the Center for Entrepreneurship, Leadership, and Business Management Development. And the goal was to provide a platform in my community where I would train young people on employability skills and enterprise development skills. And we started this training in our community. And later on, because of Facebook, I would share the things that we're doing in our community. And at that time, Facebook was gaining grounds, in Africa and of course in Cameroon at the time, but not as high as it is right now. And I started sharing all of those experiences we were having. And one thing we noticed was that other young people from other cities and other locations, even other countries, started indicating interest in being participants in our trainings. We even had on several occasions where young people travel from the capital city, from Douala, Yaoundé, Buea, to come stay in this urban area for 2 months for the duration of a training to take our courses, right? But we had a lot of high interest from young people from other cities and countries who wanted to take our programs. Now I started thinking, how do we serve these young people from these different locations? Now I am bringing you now to the art of leverage. How did we leverage basic platforms and basic technology, digital platforms in a semi-urban area like that to be able to meet and serve these young people? So I started thinking, and a couple of ideas came to mind. And we decided that we are going to use a local webcam on a Pentium 3 computer. So people don't know what that means, but and we'll record these videos. And we'll record them. We're going to get them on YouTube under unlisted at the time. And we're going to gather these young people on a platform. That time to WhatsApp was just, getting popular. So those who had smartphones at the time were able to get access to WhatsApp and all of that. So we created a structure like that, and it was simple. Record the video, get it on YouTube and unlisted, and then those who are outside the town are able to get links to this video and go through the trainings. And of course, at the end of the 2 months, they do the final examinations. And the final examinations was in terms of you write a paper, a practical paper talking about a solution in your business, in your workplace, or in your life, in your community, and you create a system how you're going to solve that problem and the outcomes that you expect to happen after solving the problem. Just giving you a thematics of the thematics of what we're doing. But a lot happened after that. It was through social media, it was through leveraging these basic platforms that I noticed that companies and conference organizers started asking for me to come speak in their events. When I started my journey, I didn't know that there was something called a public speaker, a motivational speaker, a professional trainer, a corporate trainer. I stumbled on those things as I was just doing what I felt that I had to do when it comes to training young people in the community. And the ripple effects became so powerful that led to me building a career around this that has spanned across different countries and different continents. So in all of that story, the main thing I wanted to get was how we were able to leverage basic platforms and create significant impact in the lives of young people across the African continent. And when I started looking back at my story and the process we went through, I was able to document a couple of core skills and core pillars that if you are a student, if you are a worker, you are a professional, you are in a place where you really want to go further in what you do when it comes to leveraging digital platforms and technology to transform what you do. If you begin to do these things I will share with you, I can really guarantee you that you will be able to achieve more, do more, impact more people in the best way that you can. As I said earlier on, when it comes to the digital space and having digital skills, it is not nice to have. All of these have become a must have. So the question is, are you willing to pay the price to have what you must have in order for you to create the impact that you have to create? All right, good. If you're still following me, just leave a comment and confirm that I want to make this statement. I am ready to pay the price to move forward. Write that in the comment sections as you are following me. Let me know that you are following, and of course, you can get me loud and clear. So I will share with you 5 core pillars that makes up the framework. The framework that if you begin to execute from today, if you begin to advance the execution of these pillars in whatever that you do, you will see something different happening in whatever you are building. Especially for my brothers and sisters across the African continent. My work has helped me to be able to travel across close to 17 African countries to do to train and to talk to different people, right? And Any young person in Africa, if you are going to advance, young or old, if you are going to advance in whatever you do, you have to come to a point where understanding the digital space and acquiring the right knowledge and experience is a core part of your daily learning process. 5 core pillars, and then I'm done. I guarantee you, if you implement all two, three, or all of this and give yourself time and consistency, you will see something different. Number one, on this path to impact, on this path to dominion, on this path to greatness and significant transformation, be ready to start imperfect. Be ready to start imperfect. One of the biggest challenges I have seen that people experience or go through is that they want to start perfect. They want to be perfect with technology. They want to be perfect with resources. They want to be perfect with everything before they start. If you want to start perfect, you will never start. You know, there is a quote that Seth Godin, one of my favorite business experts that I follow, he said, if you set your bar at amazing, it will be difficult for you to start. This quote is mind blowing, especially for those who are still at the starting phase of their destiny. Hear this again. Seth Godin said, if you set your bar at amazing, this is for those who are still at the beginning phase of their journey. If you set your bar at amazing, it will be very difficult for you to start. At the beginning of your journey, your job is not to start amazing. Your job is to start imperfect. Start where you are with what you have. So, talking about digital transformation and talking about leverage, the concept of leverage, I have a question for you. What can you leverage right now? There are many of you listening to me right now. Your mobile phone is enough for you to leverage. Free platforms are enough for you to leverage. YouTube has a lot of free courses that if you pay the price and watch a video 2 hours every day for the next 3 months, you will literally become a middle level expert or even a top expert in your community by just doing that. Leveraging what you have. Start imperfect. Be ready. Make up your mind to start imperfect, especially for young people that have inadequate resources. You don't have the right amount of money to start what you want to start. Start with what you have and be comfortable at starting imperfect. And let me tell you something about technology. You never become the best at using any platform at the beginning stage. Everybody starts as a learner. Everybody start using any platform as an imperfect learner. The first day you started using Facebook, you were imperfect. The first day you started using WhatsApp, you were imperfect. But yet, here you are, you can do so many things that you could not do in the past. So start imperfect. Avoid comparing your current situation with somebody who is already very successful. It's a big, big challenge for many people. There are people who are still in their first year in an industry and they are trying to compare themselves with somebody who has 15 years experience in the same industry. No, learn from them, but don't compare from them. Don't try to start where they are, start where you are. You see that? So it is important. So comparing your current situation to someone who is already successful can often make you feel like you lack the required resources to get started. No, you do not lack the required resources. You just need to get started and the resources will meet you as you move forward. For some people, they want to claim that I need to learn more. I need to get all the resources before I can start. No. Let me tell you a secret that I've learned in my journey, and of course, coaching so many people around the world. Hear this and hear me very well. When you have the mindset that you want to learn more and you want to get all resources before you start, it will always prevent you from moving forward when it comes to digital transformation. So start imperfect. Number 2, one of my favorites, build discovery skills. Develop your discovery skills. Now, hear this. Great entrepreneurs often have discovery skills. If you will leverage digital transformation and succeed in whatever you're doing in this dispensation, you must have discovery skills. Have the mindset and the willingness to discover. What does that mean? You are so comfortable at using a platform that you have never used before with the mindset to discover what is on that platform. And there are 5 sub pillars that makes up discovery skills. Number 1, associating. You must push yourself to associate. What does that mean? You must push yourself to come to a point where you are good at making connections between one thing and another. For example, the story I shared with you guys, being able to think that, let's say in now WhatsApp, at the time WhatsApp did not have WhatsApp groups. Right now we have WhatsApp groups. Having a mindset that, oh, I can record a video on my phone, put it on YouTube under unlisted, gather people on a WhatsApp group and have them enroll on my course or the training program I have to offer. And I share one video a day on that group and people watch and they answer questions and all of that, right? That is the number 1 pillar under discovery skills. Your ability to make connections between one thing and another. It is called associating. The second pillar is questioning. People who have discovery skills question a lot. They question a lot. Ask questions. When you see somebody doing something in your industry or with a platform that you need to know, question. How did they do that? Number 3, observation. The third pillar under discovery skills is observation. Be very good at observing. See, many people look but do not see. Many people are able to look, but they cannot see. I always say that if many people can really see in this dispensation, everybody will have a lot of opportunities. Opportunities are available for those who see, not for those who look. People who look hardly see opportunities, but people who see, who perceive, who pay the price to look deeper and see something will always see opportunities in every situation. So observe, look, and make sure you see. Number 4, one of my favorite under the pillars is experimenting. Be comfortable at experimenting. And as I said earlier on, nobody starts on the path of digital technology or digital platforms being perfect. Every new year, every 6 months, there's a new software coming out, a new platform, a new tool, something new is coming out. Everybody approaches a platform experimenting. You cannot tell me that the first day that you made up your mind to use WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube, you knew what to do. Even if you read how to, you were experimenting the first time. It is the same skill and mindset you have to maintain for you to leverage digital transformation. And lastly, networking. Push yourself to network. Network with other experts and other experienced people, right? Are we good? Good. Number 3, the third pillar that you need to master and build for you to really use leverage in your journey to digital transformation. I call it fluency of ideas. Fluency of ideas. Now, fluency of ideas is a concept I've been writing about like in the last 4 years. And fluency of ideas is the ability to, take a concept and develop it into a product or a service. In other words, this involves transforming ideas into tangible outcomes. You have an idea, you train yourself, or you go through the process of intentionally transforming that idea into a tangible outcome that somebody can see it and desire to consume that value. Fluency of ideas. Because products and services or final outcomes are not made up by one idea. They're a combination of different ideas that you bring them together to now create an outcome or a product. So if you will use leverage to achieve digital transformation, you must be good at fluency of ideas, because you will not achieve digital transformation in your career and in your business with one idea. You will need to combine a couple of ideas to create an outcome in this journey. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking of how to sit in Benin, in Cotonou, or in Nigeria, in Onitsha, in Lagos, wherever you are, and you want to get your services across all continents as much as possible, one of the most important skills that you need is the fluency of ideas. What kind of ideas do you need to bring together in a very intentional manner to develop those ideas into a tangible, significant product that when somebody hears about it or when they see it, they will understand, oh, this value is critical for me. For example, somebody right now is sitting in his or her room right now, listening to this training or this teaching right now. However, there are different ideas and different moving parts that the team of this summit were able to employ to bring this single teaching to you. There are many other speakers, but concerning me, we had an email first, had the meetings, had a couple of follow-up emails, this and that, different moving parts. They were employing fluency of ideas and converging those ideas together for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and even months, just so that you can have this 40 minutes to 1 hour of teaching that will transform your life. So you see, a 40 minutes product can take you 4 weeks of employing fluency of ideas to create that 40 minutes product. It's one of the most critical skills in this dispensation. Because, you know, several years ago, it used to be so hard to do several things with technology. But now, for example, there are several AI platforms that if you want to build a website, just write your mission, vision, description of your product, put on that AI platform. It's going to build a website for you. We're getting into a dispensation where technical skills are losing value and soft skills like fluency of ideas are becoming more powerful. Because somebody who can think well and knows that an AI platform exists can literally build a better website than an average website builder right now. You see, funny enough, I stumbled on something. Is it yesterday or today? Coca-Cola just released their first AI advertisement. Their Christmas ad totally generated by AI. It's cheaper, was faster, and I watched the video and I think it's incredible. You see that? Fluency of ideas. Number 4, and I'm almost done. The skill of leverage itself. Remember, my topic is the art of leverage in achieving digital transformation. So I've taken you through the process and I've shared with you core pillars that you need to build on in order to leverage, a digital transformation. Now let's talk about the leverage itself, which is the 4th pillar in helping you to achieve digital transformation, either as a student, as a worker, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, or in whatever that you do. Number 4, leverage itself. You know, the ability to effectively utilize existing. The key word here is existing. The ability to effectively utilize existing resources, tools, and other people's abilities to achieve something significant is known as leverage. So based on technology, based on digital resources available to you right now at your level, what can you utilize as existing resources, tools, and other people's abilities to achieve something significant when it comes to your destiny? As I said earlier on, there are some of you listening to me right now, you have ideas that your smartphone and being able to use WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram so well can literally move you forward. Literally move you forward. You see, in the story I shared earlier on, at the moment right now, we use a learning management system that we built for ourselves because we grew and we had the money to do that. But at the beginning of our journey, we did not have the money to build our own learning management system, and we did not have the money to pay an existing management system a monthly subscription fee to use theirs. So we had to use the skill of leverage. We leverage what we have. YouTube existing. You upload videos there for free. Good. Okay, WhatsApp is easier to communicate with links and share a good number of messages on WhatsApp than on GSM text. Good. So we leverage on that existing resources, existing tools, and other people's abilities to achieve something significant. I do a lot of coaching for startup entrepreneurs. I have started over eight businesses in my life so far, and I have failed in a good number of businesses, missing out on millions and millions of money. So I know a thing or two about starting a good business and making it work. And I always tell young people who want to start a business, there's a hack in my startup process. I always tell them this, and maybe somebody will learn this and it will change something in what they are building, right? It's funny, but it works, right? It is funny, but it works. Here's the concept. I always tell them, write out everything that you need to start a business. Write down, make a list of everything that you need. Then make another list from that list and write down the list of things that you need that you can beg from your friends, from your relatives, or from anybody you know. Out of the things that you need to start a business, make a list of the things that you can beg from other people. You cannot be broke and proud at the same time. Dangerous combination. Don't be broke and proud at the same time, right? Yes, it sounds funny and harsh at the same time, but it's true for many young people. I call it corporate begging. Be comfortable at begging. It's leverage, right? It's leverage at the same time. So, key points about leverage, and we'll round up with this. Be good at utilizing existing assets to gain an advantage. You need to be comfortable. You need to be good at utilizing existing assets to gain an advantage. Number 2, be good at leveraging existing technology and automation tools that are free or freemium to start what you have to do so you can get the paid ones later. You see, one of the best things that you can know how to do in this life is to know how to get paid using things that are free. Then make the money, use the money to buy the things that you need to buy in order to build what you have to build. I think that is basically how I built my career. Right? Number 3, the third key point when it comes to leverage is be comfortable at collaborating with other individuals. So you can leverage on their strength, on their skills, and to reach more people. Because talking about digital transformation, you will not start by knowing everything. Let me give you a quick basic hack for leverage. If you want to learn, this is what I normally do. Want to learn a particular platform, a particular skill, I always go on YouTube and let's say I want to learn how to use Restream, right? I'll go on YouTube and search for the YouTube channel of Restream, and I'll watch all their how-to videos on how to use Restream. That's leveraging. I'm leveraging on Restream YouTube channel to gain a skill I don't have. You see that? Or you can go on YouTube and search top experts in virtual video production. And you'll see so many guys giving tips on that. You start learning the basic skills on how to do that. And later on, you can start making some money from it. You monetize it, and then you can get paid. And of course, you can now pay more advanced skills and become an advanced expert in that sector. One of the best things you can learn how to do is to know how to leverage existing assets, existing skills, existing tools, existing people to achieve what you have never achieved before. Number 5, and then I'll take question and I'm done. I call it skill stacking. Skill stacking. If you will achieve digital transformation, you need to learn to do what I call skill stacking. I will explain. To explain better, let me use somebody in marketing. If you're a marketing professional, here's how skill stacking can work for you. Let's say that you learned marketing in the university, or you have a degree in marketing. And in that degree program, you develop traditional marketing skills, right? But for you to be able to shine and grow in this dispensation, you need beyond traditional marketing skills. So for you to become an exceptional marketer, you need skill stacking. You need to stack more skills into your existing marketing skill or marketing knowledge that you got from the university. For example, you may need to take a separate certificate course on Facebook marketing. You take another course on Instagram marketing. You take another course on LinkedIn marketing, YouTube marketing. All of these, that is skill stacking. You are stacking relevant skills around your sector so you can become among the top 10% or top 1% or top 20% in what you do as an expert. So in digital transformation, you need skill stacking. What are those core digital skills that you need to stack to your existing skill that can help you to achieve digital transformation? You cannot achieve digital transformation with limited skills. For some people who have the money, instead of doing skill stacking, they hire people who have the skills that they need. But before you can get to the place of hiring those skills, you will definitely need to pay the price of skill stacking, right? So those are the 5 things, 5 core pillars that I know that if you do them, you execute them, you implement them, something different will happen in your journey. The question is, what will you do with what you have learned today? I always fondly say that hope without action is dead. Knowledge is not power, it is knowledge exceptionally executed that produces significant results. That is power. I believe that you are transformed, you are impacted, you picked up something that will literally change the face of your career and the face of your business or whatever that you're doing, and you will definitely produce better results and of course create more impact after today. Thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you for giving me your attention and of course your time to exchange with you. And of course, looking forward to your questions if there are any. If not, I do have a YouTube channel where I share a lot of these deep insights in more details and longer videos. I have almost close to 1,000 videos, and I just train on my videos. I don't do entertainment. I just train, right? So you can find them there, and you can just search Dr. Joybert Javnan, you will see it, and every other thing you find it on that channel. And I have books, 4 or 5 books on Amazon. You can check them out. Hopefully they will help you in whatever you are building. Thank you again so much to the team at the Virtual Summit for the privilege to share with you guys. And of course, funny enough, I have never been to Cotonou. I've traveled across Africa so much. I've never been to Cotonou, and I've always wanted to go there. Hopefully someday, not today, of course, not this summit, but maybe another summit, I will be on ground in Cotonou to speak on ground, and of course network with. I have friends from there, business friends, but it will be so good to be there on ground, to share with the people there. Thank you again so much, and I'm open for your questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Joybert. That was really good. I hope people were taking notes. We're going to use this time to actually talk and just have a short live discussion about some of your values. And while we're doing that, if you have any questions, just go ahead and post it in the comments, and one of the moderators will actually get that information to me so that we can actually get that question to Dr. Joybert. So this is a very interesting topic you've talked about, and I believe strongly that it's so relevant for this time, and people shouldn't take it lightly. When AI was emerging, and AI has been around for a while, honestly, but when it became the generative AI and it became more public with open AI, I jumped on it immediately because I don't want to miss out on the boats. There have been many boats that have passed by that I saw them passing by and I missed that boat. This one, I ain't missing it. I want to leverage on it. But I want you to just, the first thing I want you to do first is I want you to just list those topics again, the steps again. Just list them, just steps. Go through it real quick. So that people that missed it, maybe they were in the stream midway, they missed the steps, they can actually catch it down and write it down, and they can always go scrub the video later on and find out a little bit more about what you talked about. So just go through those steps real quick.
Yeah, so as I said, for you to be able to achieve digital transformation, banking on the skill of leverage, you will need to be comfortable at starting, being imperfect, be ready to be imperfect at the starting phase. Number 2, build discovery skills. And number 3, be good at fluency of ideas. And of course, number 4, skill of leverage itself. And number 5, practice skill stacking as you go on.
Awesome. You talked about something that is so dear to my heart, and it's about ideation. When you come up with ideas and turn it into a product. I think that was very beautiful. There's a group that was part of some years back called, they said, productizing, and so it's taking your service and turning it into a product, because that's something that can actually easily scale. I want you to share some of the challenges you faced when you were trying to productize your service. Could you just share a little insight into some of the road bumps, maybe things that you had to go through to actually get it to the finish point?
Yeah. I think the first thing that I really faced at the time was, it was something I was doing for the first time. And the kind of, when you're a visionary, there are things that you have the concept in your mind and you're trying to figure out how to bring it on paper and how to build it. So since it was the first time of me doing that, and of course, not being in a location or in a place where I can easily access mentors or guidance and of course, knowledge, the knowledge economy just expanded so much in the last 5 years, especially in the African setting. So at the time, it was not so robust as it is right now. But not having, the roadmap to follow or the blueprint to follow or the mentors to work with or the community that you can learn from, was a challenge. Number 2, having people to understand, because you are disrupting an existing culture, you are disrupting or you're introducing something that people are not used to, and being able to compel and to convince and to know to make them understand the value of bringing to the table is definitely a challenge. And of course, consistency and you believing and having that conviction that look, this is it, it's gonna work, it can transform you, was definitely another challenge that we faced. And of course, the third, I would likely say, which is also part of business, is that challenge where, at some point you begin to wonder, how far will this go? Because you're wondering, does this have a future, right? And sometimes if you are not convinced and you have not seen beyond your physical, eyes and what you're looking at, you can be tempted to be lazy and lacking behind because you're not convinced enough. And that's why I'm writing. I write different ideas here and there. I was writing something and I said, I've come to the conclusion that it was related to faith. And as a Christian, I was writing around faith and all of that. And I came to the conclusion that the believers that will stand are believers who are genuine about their conviction. Social media will not influence you. Somebody's opinion will not, but you have a conviction that is so unshakable. Bringing that to ideation, I believe that ideas that will go places are ideas that you, the ideator or the founder, you have absolute conviction about that idea. You are so convinced, the kind of conviction that Steve Jobs had. Very convinced. You may not understand it, it's okay, but I'm so convinced that this is the future and this will change the lives of people. So I was battling with that conviction. Is this the path to take? If so, then let's make it work.
Wow, that's amazing. You said something about disrupting the culture, and we can relate so well with that because in Benin, when I was talking to Isaac, who is the host for this event, and he told me some of the challenges in Benin where they're not even as advanced as Nigerians. It was a struggle to actually get the people be aware of what opportunities, and there's this short-sightedness, right? Because what you're exposed to affect how far you can go, right? You talk about seeing earlier on, and the way you said it was like you can be looking, but you may not be seeing, right? And that seeing, it's so important to be able to have a model or something you can see afar off. So I want to ask you this question. Because some of us, we may be facing this challenge on how to disrupt the market, especially when it feels lonely, when it feels like you're the only one on it. And what will you advise? What tips can you give in such periods? Because that's when people give up, right? So what tips can you share on that?
You see, if you will build something that will stand the test of time, you should be comfortable at being lonely at some point in your journey. You should be comfortable at everybody going this way and you're going this way. For example, in the story I shared, there were many times I organized events. Let me give you a practical story that happened in Congo. That happened.
I know where this is going. I know where it's going.
And I had volunteers that came to help me the previous day on a Friday evening to set the hall, prepare things and all of that. And it was a training on skills development and all of these things and all of that. And the next day, nobody showed up. Not even the volunteers that helped.
Not even the volunteers
organize the event.
Oh my God.
Like, people were looking at me at that time as if I was mad. You're not talking about success in an environment where 95% of the people are like farmers, subsistence farmers. You see, So talking about, like I used to tell, I don't know where I used to get that, but the Holy Spirit helped me, I guess, where I would just say that, look, the things I'm teaching you, these same things will take me around the world.
Come on now.
At
Come
that
on.
time, I have never gone to my own. At that time, I have never traveled to my capital city. I have never gone to a bigger city in my life. But I was so convinced that what I was teaching can transform anybody's life. I was so convinced. So I would organize events and literally beg people to come and attend. Sometimes I'll go house to house and remind them, please, that event tomorrow, make sure you come and attend. I was so sure that what I was teaching them can help them. Because at that time, I was reading a lot. So, reading is the only thing that will open you up to a world that you have never been there.
Yeah.
You see, Frederick Douglass, for those who don't know him, he was a slave. He shared the story where at the young age, I think at the age of 8, he was a slave, born a slave, and a slave at then. And the wife of the slave master was teaching him how to read and how to read the Bible at the time. So when the slave master came in, the husband of the madam that was teaching him came in, the husband shouted at the wife, don't teach him how to read.
Oh my goodness.
Because he said when a slave reads, they would discover that there is a world beyond slavery. When I heard that, my mind blew up.
Wow.
When the slave will read, they will discover that there is a world beyond slavery.
There's a world beyond slavery.
So as a visionary, there are things that from where you are sitting, you are seeing that the masses cannot see. So you need to be so comfortable at being alone, from your conceptualization to your marketing phase, and be so comfortable that you be misunderstood and still be, that's why I said conviction. And you are so convinced that this can make things change in the lives of people. I think that is critical. And then every other thing, build the skills and all of that, and you're going to go.
Hey, I have somebody that said, please, recap that word. Do you want to do a recap? On just a short recap.
Oh, what was I saying? Okay. I'm sure you're talking about the visionary stuff. Again, as I said, talking about Frederick Douglass, right?
Yeah.
The master told the wife, don't teach this young slave how to read, because when they will know how to read, they will know that there is a world beyond slavery. In other words, if you are following this in a small little town, and maybe you're basically living below the poverty line, I can tell you that there are things that when you begin to expose your mind to, even though you may be broke at the time, but you have new convictions that there is a place where if I can get there, I will never be the same way again. It will redefine the rest of your existence.
Amen. That was good. That was good. So we're wrapping up now, and the last thing I have for you before we wrap up, actually, I'm contemplating if I should make it the last one. Okay, this is semi-last, so we have 2 more questions for you. The next one will be failing. What's your perspective on failing? Because I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, and being an entrepreneur for 20 years wasn't that I was doing part-time job. I was actually full. So, and sometimes I've seen, there was someone that called me and told me, said, oh, what do you do? I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I said, oh my goodness, that's beautiful. You have time. You can do anything at any time.
Yeah, one of the biggest lies in entrepreneurship. I don't know who
that big lie caused problems in 2020, because a lot of people went ahead and create jobs and they didn't have it, So I'll give you like 2 minutes just to talk about failing, and then we'll wrap up.
If I can talk about failing for years, because I have failed. See, I have so failed that I have experience at failing. And the best thing that happened to me at this stage of my life are the failures I went through in the last 30 years of my life. Let me say so. Because I always say that there are things that no book can teach you. There are things that no mentor can teach you. There are things that under your failure can teach you. And they're so valuable and so powerful that can really redefine the rest of your life. You know, Denzel Washington said something. He said, in the first part of your life, you learn. In the middle part of your life, you earn. And in the last part of your life, you return. Right? And the first part of learning, failure is an integral part of learning that. You see? And failure is the tuition that you pay for dominion. Failure is the tuition that you must pay to dominate. You will never see somebody who has dominated an industry that has not failed. Do you want to dominate? The school fee, the tuition for dominion is failure. Go and pay the price.
That's good. That's so good. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all these insights with us. We're going to take a quick commercial ad about the upcoming events on the 23rd, which is next week. That's an in-person conference for the people in Benin. I want you to be at that event. I want you to experience more. So thank you so much, Dr. Jobat, for sharing with us today. All right.
Are you ready? Are you ready to experience digitalization on another level? Don't look too far. It is here. Digital Explore Conference, which will be held on 23rd November 2024 in Cotonou, Benin Republic. Have you ever imagined where the greatest minds are gathered in one place?
Explorer Conférence, pour ma part, c'est une conférence qui viendra révolutionner le monde digital au Bénin.
Inventors, investors, business owners, and experts in different fields will be there. It is fun, it's cultural, and it's innovative. Expect seasoned and mind-blowing speakers, talk shows, live performances, panel discussions, art, games, fashion, and 1,500 attendees. This program is for students and digital enthusiasts, working professionals, and business owners. Come and learn how to use the digital space to build your business, services, and career. Will you be there? Register now.
Je serai là.
Hello guys, Digital Explore Conference 2024. You need to be there. Don't tell me you're not going to be there. I will be there. Digital Explore Conference 2024. I will be there.
So go straight to our website now at www.digitalexploreconference.com and register. I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to have you. So see you at Digital Explore Conference 2024. Peace.
All right. So we have our next guest speaker coming up. His name is Uncle KM. And I believe he's ready to come on now. So we're going to add him right now. So let's just get him up. So your camera is not up yet. Could you turn on your camera, please, as we do the next session?
Hi. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, but your camera is not on.
Okay, so sorry about that. There is an issue here in Ondo State, Nigeria. There's an election going on, and you know how elections can be. So yes,
okay.
I'm going to like sharing my screen.
Okay, yeah, we'll just go ahead. I'll just go ahead and transfer to you. So we have a speaker, Uncle, is going to be talking about vertical conversations for borderless digital innovation. Let's welcome him. Go ahead and like this, share, invite people to the chat. Let's get this going. All right, awesome.
Okay. Thank you very much. I listened to the previous speaker, and I must say I was very, very wowed. He sounded very, very seasoned at what he was presenting. And thank you so much, the co-hosts. I mean, when I saw you listen to the quality of your words, I knew that this was the very right place for us to be. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for organizing this conference. All right, so I'm going to be going straight to the point, and the topic is vertical conversations for borderless digital innovations. And I don't think it's necessary to introduce myself, but okay, for those that don't know me, my name is Robert Abimbola Israel, and I am the founder of a social media company. Let's call it a company because we have existed for a couple of years now, and from that company, we have birthed other couple of startups. So the name of the company is Kingdom Memes. We started out as an entertainment social media page. We have a combination of several 100,000 followers in 4 platforms. And from there, we have our own tech brand, which is called Nexi7. We have our own clothing company called KM Penthouse and a couple of other things. So we're going to be talking about vertical conversations for borderless digital innovations. Now, let me share my screen. Please, I hope everybody can see my screen. Let me be sure about that. Let me be sure about that. From the comment section, please. I'm very, very sure if you can hear if you can see my screen rather. All right, thank you very much. So vertical conversations simply means the summation of discussions and researches that exist at a higher and deeper level. One of the things I want to explain to you is that you cannot sufficiently see things at a very limited standpoint. All right. Okay. Yes. So you cannot sufficiently see things at a very limited standpoint. You see things at a greater scope and a different perspective when you are existing at an height. There is a way that your perspective changes. There is a way that your sight changes when you are at an height. So at that height means that there are certain levels of existence, certain levels of planes, certain levels of perspective that you must begin to adhere to. What I mean by that is this. You cannot tell me that you want to experience digital innovation or you want to experience a borderless form of innovation if all you consume is trash. All right. There is a level of sight, there is a level of insight that you absorb in yourself when there's a level of sight and a level of insight you absorb in yourself when the existence, the planes of your mind are at a very heightened level. So what I mean by that is this. By vertical conversations, I mean you must learn to engage your mind. You must learn to engage your speech. You must learn to interact with conversations that go upward. Vertical means upward. So you cannot spend time talking at a very base level. You cannot spend time talking or having discussions that don't transcend anywhere. So that is why I judge. I know people tell you don't judge a book by its cover, but I judge people that spend their time wasting their time on just social media when the only thing they do is to gist and they don't have a traction. They don't set goals for themselves. They don't have a trajectory for their life. So vertical conversations mean that you need to start identifying what are the vertical conversations and the vertical interactions that you want to start having for yourself. What are your goals? Are you with me? Now, by vertical conversations, it means that you want to have interactions and discussions and researches that go upward. There is a difference between a man that stays at a bungalow and a man that lives at a skyscraper. A man that lives at a skyscraper will see things at a very broader level because there is a larger horizon, there is a wider sight. All right. So, by vertical conversations, there are certain mediums. There are certain mediums that lead you there. So that's why you see that there is always a difference with any man or woman that they have structured their lives around things that go upward. You see them invest in books. You see them invest in certain level of depth. And that is why I've noticed that there is always a difference between, I'm sorry to say, but there is always a difference between a Nigerian graduate and a graduate that goes to Harvard or all the well-known Ivy Towers or Ivy Leagues rather. Are you with me? So you must understand how to structure your life around vertical conversations, around vertical discussions. Enough of base level knowledge, enough of base level wisdom. There is an height you must ascend to. And what is the medium? What is the pathway to vertical conversations? The first thing I'll talk about is your proximity to materials of a seasoned expert in a field, either textual, visual, or audio. This means that what is your nearness to a seasoned speaker or to a seasoned expert in the field? You are into graphic design, you are into coding, you are into robotics, you are into artificial intelligence. Have you noted mark the word seasoned? There's a reason why I capitalized the word seasoned here. Who are the seasoned speakers in your field? Who are those that have attained an height? And seasoned means that these people understand the game. These people understand their onions. They have a track record of success. They have shown it by blood and sweat that they understand what they are doing. Even if you don't have the money to pay for their courses, hang around their materials. Because by the reason of the knowledge, they have attained an height. By the reason of their experience, they are at a very distant horizon. By the reason of the years of experience, they are existing at a very vertical standpoint. So, vertical conversations with people that are seasoned in this space gives you a knowledge because you are gaining from their bank of wisdom. So, this is exactly the kind of people. I can't take you serious if you tell me you're a graphic designer and all you do is spend time. You spend time doing things that are opposite your goals and visions. So I understand that it takes a lot of finance to be around seasoned speakers or seasoned experts in their fields, but hang around their social media page. Because even if you don't have the money to pay for their, let's say for their classes, you don't have the finance to pay for the master classes that they would at least hang around their social media pages, hang around their YouTube pages. Because in doing this, you are gaining from them. They are speaking from an height. They are speaking from the mountaintop. So there is a wisdom. There is something they are seeing that you are not seeing. So you must ensure that you engage these people and you are around them. Don't forget, I said vertical conversations are what? Is a summation of every interaction, discussion, or research that goes upward. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is vertical conversation. One of the mediums to enter into vertical conversations is that you must go into depth in personal research. Depth is very important. You cannot be vertical, especially if you want to be in tech, especially if you're a digital person. Everybody is doing almost everything you're doing. For Christ's sake, currently now, even if you're a copywriter, I kind of pity copywriters right now, except that you are extremely good at what you do. Because artificial intelligence is taking their jobs. Artificial intelligence is taking almost every copywriter's job. Because as long as you have a very good AI prompt, if you have a very good AI prompt, they can use AI to write good copies. So what should you do, or what should be your standpoint? If you're into copywriting, graphic design, or whatever digital job or digital venture that you want to go into, you must understand that you must do a very deep research. There must be depth in research. There must be depth, because depth goes downward. There must be a downward experience. There must be a downward research that goes into the depth. So if you want to, whatever it is that you're doing, exhaust every material. There is something I was teaching some people, and I said, research. Research is one of the pathways in planting the seed of your value. Because the magnificence of a seed is, or the magnificence of a tree is not when it is in seed form. The magnificence of a tree is seen when that seed is planted and it grows. Nobody admires a palm kernel. Nobody admires the tree of a, or nobody admires the seed of an orange. Nobody admires the seed of a mango until it is planted. Then you nurture it and you water it. Then after some time it grows. So by digging deep in your field, don't just tell me you're a graphic designer. Have you exhausted over 100 videos on YouTube? Don't tell me you're a copywriter. Have you exhausted over 100 videos on YouTube? Don't just tell me you're a social media marketer. What have you done in terms of research? Have you gone all out to do deep research in your field? Because people that grab their attentions are those that are existing at an height. That is the only essence of vertical conversations. People that grab the attention of men are those that are existing at an height. There is a reason why when a tall person enters the room, everybody looks at him. So you must endeavor to what? To go into deep research in your field. If a fashion designer, exhaust as many materials as possible. Reading does not kill you. What reading does is that reading exposes, or reading begins to open up minds that you never knew existed within you. So, and permit me to quote the scripture. It says, as the heavens are far from the earth, so is the word. So is the heart of the king. And he now says something. The heavens for heights, the earth for depth. So is the heart of a king unsearchable. What does that mean? That the heart of a king is unsearchable because kings search. That is why it says that it is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but it is the honor of kings to search out. Kings search. You can't tell me you are a king if you don't research. It is the jobs of king to unsee. It is the jobs of king to search. That is why if you engage a king in a matter, and I'm not talking about just a physical king, probably he has a crown. A king can be any creative or any creator or an innovator that understands his niche to the letter. So when you begin to engage them, they have a bank of wisdom. They have a bank of knowledge because they understand and they have read books. They have watched videos. They understand what it is. You can wake them up and say, what is real estate management? And they will tell you. So kings are known because they have gone so far in their field. They have an exceeding wisdom by the virtue of the research they have done. Now, the number 3 thing I want to talk to you about vertical conversation is what? Connection to an otherworldly experience. Holy Spirit, help me with this. Okay, first of all, before I say something, do you know that Google, the idea for Google was from dreams? Larry Page got the idea of Google from his dreams. Do you also know that the idea for the sewing machine was downloaded in quote, was downloaded from his dreams? What am I trying to tell you? It now seems to me as though innovation, creativity has some form of otherworldly experience attached to it. Do you also know that the theory of relativity, the E equals mc squared, all right, and even the periodic table, these things I mentioned were actually downloaded from dreams. Now, this tells you that creativity, innovation, has a connection to things that don't really exist in the physical realm, has a connection to things that are not tangible in 3D form. So there is that realm of creativity or innovation that exists in otherworldly experiences like dreams. And that is why people tell you that when they engage themselves in meditation or prayers, they begin to get ideas. Do you know that Robert Oppenheimer, which was the first person to innovate the atomic bomb, when he experienced or when he witnessed the first detonation of that bomb, one of the first things this man opened his mouth to say was, now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. What that man quoted was actually an Hindu scripture. What does that tell you? That man understands that certain innovations and creativity does not exist on this plane of existence. That is the man that goes upward. in his research and in his conversation. That man quoted a scripture from the Hindu, but he called himself death. He alluded himself to death, which tells you that this man understands something, because which man in his right mind wants to create something that kills people? I am showing you a secret that certain inventions, certain innovations does not come to the mind of man except he has an otherworldly experience. In the context of Christianity, what I mean is this: there is always an exceeding wisdom that comes from a man that understands that innovation and creativity exist in a realm of God. You see, people may call themselves atheists, but do you know that Elon Musk, one time I was watching his video and they asked him that how does he have all these creativity, innovations? And he said he has all this kind of creativity because he has achieved a superhuman consciousness. It means he has achieved a consciousness that transcends normal human reasoning, that transcends normal human wisdom. That is the man that understands a secret that a bare man doesn't understand. See, I'm telling you a secret here, that if you want to experience a borderless innovation, you must learn to go upward. And one of the ways is that learn to connect to otherworldly experiences. I'll give another example. There's this company called CERN, CERN. If you check them out, these guys, they are one of the top advanced tech and science company. But at the front of their company, they have a statue of Shiva, the goddess of destruction. Now, the question you should ask yourself is this: what is the correlation between the goddess Shiva and technology? I'm telling you that these people understand that certain conversations or certain innovations don't happen except they connect to an otherworldly source. The same thing goes for Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was asked, because Nikola Tesla is always alluded to be the father of modern technology. They asked him that, how are you able to have ideas? Because Nikola Tesla in his days had idea for the mobile phone even before it was created. And when he told his colleagues, and they laughed at him, that what do you mean conversations, or what do you mean that communication can happen with just a device in your pocket? He said he has seen this thing and he knows it can exist. So he asked him a question: how do you think, where do you see all these things that you talk about? Where do you see all these exceeding innovations that you talk about? And he said something very profound. He said, there is a core in the universe. I'm going to paraphrase what he said. He said, there is a core in the universe where creativity and innovation exist. He said, I have not scratched the surface of this core yet, but I know that it exists. These are people that give themselves to hiking meditation. These are people, they may not be Christians, but they know that creativity in itself precedes earthly time. They know that creativity precedes creation. Do you realize that creativity in itself was the very first skill that we saw from scripture? The Bible says in the beginning, God created. So creation, or the skill of creativity, is first of all a stellar ability. The skill of creativity is first of all celestial. Okay, now let's move to our next point, of which we're going to be talking about what does it mean to be borderless. Now, the first thing I wrote here is that to be borderless means to exist as you, with your ideas and values, without you being present. The second thing is that the second definition for borderlessness is something that exists with no limitation or geographical constraint. In the context of our discussion, what it means is that to be borderless means something that has no restriction, something that has no constraint. For example, I'm running a social media page of over 700 to 800,000 people, and I have about 45 to 50 admins. Okay, and I also have other companies that make me money. Some make me money daily, some make me money weekly, some monthly. But I am not there because I've learned to be borderless with my skill. I've learned to be borderless with my innovations. Are you with me? You must start to think of innovations that you can create or things that you can start that has a borderless structure. For instance, Zuckerberg does not need to be in everybody's house. He has created something that is borderless. And that thing he created has his ideas, has its values, and it does not have to be present. Because borderlessness is the groundwork for dominion. So you need to start thinking of things. And let me say something. When you are engaging yourself in vertical conversations and you begin to see things differently than the masses, that is when you begin to understand that the problem in your territory can be a means of wealth. See, the masses see problems and they complain about the problems, but the elites see problems and look for ways to coin a means of wealth from it. So the problems you're facing in Nigeria, the problems you're facing in your territory, what if it is a pointer? Because innovators and creators, they see what is wrong with the world and they try to change it. But you cannot change something when you are existing at a very base level. See, two people can be in the same room, but the mind of one is open. The mind of one has been open to vertical opportunities and vertical reasoning. So what I'm saying is you've got to come up with that there must be a reasoning that goes upward. So what are the things? What are the mindset you're having? What are the things that you want to create? Ensure that you see. I was having a meeting with a couple of people, and I said, learn to multiply yourself. Are you with me? Learn to multiply yourself. If you are a baker in the house, the way to multiply yourself is to first of all leverage on digital skills. Leverage on digital skills. How can you incorporate artificial intelligence? How can you incorporate digital marketing into your business? Because see, you cannot, if you don't learn to multiply yourself, you will only earn the income of one person. But when you learn to be borderless with your innovation, that is when the stream of income you begin to earn is as a nation. The next thing I want to talk about is what? Innovation happens, digital innovation. Now, innovations happen because man is designed to be creative. I think I gave you a definition of creativity when I told you that creativity precedes every time. It is very natural for man to be creative, but unfortunately, many men are very lazy. So, what are the things that you need to start doing? Understand that the first thing is that man has been designed to be creative. Man is designed to be innovative. So, whatever it is you're doing, begin to have a thought about it. How can I be creative with this? What are the digital skills that can I add to be creative? I saw some pages on Instagram recently. This woman sells corn, all right? But she found a way to digitalize the corn that she was selling. Oh my God, very funny stuff. She found a way to digitalize the corn she was selling, and she began to brand the product in a very different way. And she runs ads for it. It is corn. You can easily walk up to the next person in your doorstep, probably go out of the street and buy corn. But she found a way to be creative. So what am I saying is that whatsoever it is that you're doing, find a way to incorporate digital skills into it. Be very creative at what you do. And one thing I want to tell you is this: it does not matter what you are doing. All you have to do is to what? Incorporate digital skills into it. Do you realize that it's this same corn I'm talking about? This was the same corn and grain that made Joseph. This was the same corn and grain that Joseph used as the wisdom to bring Egypt to an economic shift. Joseph used maize, agbado corn that we eat. Joseph shifted the economy. He shifted the economy of nations with just maize. So who told you that whatsoever it is that you're selling cannot sell because you're selling clothes? Who told you? Did you realize that Lydia, during that time, Lydia was a very wealthy woman because the weight of the poppy she was selling, if the weight of the poppy she was selling is 10 pounds, and there is a gold of 10 pounds, they weigh the same price because gold was scarce during that time. Because purple was scarce. The kind of purple she was selling was scarce during that time. So she was rich in gold, not just purple. She was a wealthy woman. So I'm saying it does not matter what you are doing. What you are doing can be a tool. What you are doing can be a shift for a territory. What you are doing can amass you wealth. All you need to do is to understand the times, the epoch that you're living in. You are living in times where digitalization has taken over. This is a period for digital innovation. So it does not matter if you're selling Gary. What are the ways that you can digitalize your product and sell? Do you understand? That's it. You see, many times we relegate the importance of companies, probably because we're in Nigeria, so we don't really understand. Do you know that? Okay, I said something. I said a successful innovation equals a successful economic growth. Do you realize that countries are not just powerful in themselves? Oh, okay, US is powerful. Oh, China is powerful. Japan is powerful. No. Let me explain to you what determines the power structure of a nation are the company within its regions. These are wisdom of thrones. This is why companies buy more companies. This is why CEOs buy more companies, because they are not buying companies, they are buying power. Whatsoever it is in your hand can be a power that can shift Nigeria. I was listening to Elon Musk one time, and he said that he paid $10 billion to the US in tax. That is why countries are powerful. It is the companies within a territory that shapes and shifts the economic structure and the economic power. No company, show me a powerful country, I will show you the powerful companies within its borders. I hope you are following me. So the thing in your hand can be a power structure. Whatsoever it is you are selling, whatsoever it is that you are doing, can be the next power structure, can be the next power company that will shift Nigeria. I hope somebody's following me. So I'm trying to let you know that whatsoever it is you are doing, start thinking of ways to expand it, start thinking of ways to digitalize whatsoever skill you have in your hand. Because that thing, just like Joseph, that maze in your hand can be the next shift for an economic structure in Nigeria. So maybe the reason why Nigeria is suffering as it is because many innovators are frustrated. Oh, Nigeria, or many innovators have traveled out of the country. 3 years ago, I read a story about a very young chap into robotics. He left Nigeria, he went to the US, and one of these companies took him. And now he's doing well for himself. And he was paid on a very hefty salary. Why? Because the great minds of Nigeria are traveling out of the country. So maybe the reason Nigeria is still where it is because the Josephs that can upscale the maze in their hands have traveled out. Or maybe the Nigerian government have frustrated them. But I'm telling you, if you are here, you're here for a reason. Yes, I'm not saying you should not travel out. But I'm saying that thing in your hand can be a power structure to shift Nigeria. All right? So what can you do? Many people tell me things like, I have this very big vision, I have this very big idea, and I'm waiting for government loan, I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for that. And I tell them, it's good, yes, go and get loans. All right, go and get loans, go and get loans, go and get whatever it is, but don't sleep there. Are you with me? Don't sleep at loans. Don't sleep at you need to start from where you are. I know of a guy, one of my staffs, and he told me things like, very amazing, young, brilliant guy. He had this innovation for, I think, air condition or something, and he drew the plan, he drafted everything because he's also a UI UX designer, and he presented it, he sent it to this company, showed them the idea. He asked them for loans to do it. They didn't get back to him. But 2 years later, yes, 2 years later, because he showed me last year, 2 years later, they stole his idea and they uploaded it on YouTube. And now they're making millions of dollars from it. So I'm not saying you should not go for governmental aid, but start somewhere. Start at the very basic. If you don't have the idea for an app, can you find a way to have because right now Telegram, thank God for Telegram's founder, Pavel Durov now, that has done something that you can create an app inside Telegram. Start from there. Don't wait for governmental aid. Don't wait for this government. Start now. Number two thing I want to tell you is that do not be afraid to compete. I know, as long as you're not stealing an idea. It's, people tell me things like, oh, I wanted to do something, but I believe now somebody else has done it. Okay, fine, do it. All right. Do not be afraid to compete. People tell you every time the sky is big for any, just you do yours. All right. Do not be afraid to compete. Another thing I want to tell you about is this: don't wait and be looking for a big money before you start something. Do you know that you can try bootstrapping first? HP and MailChimp, these are two successful companies. They started from the scratch. By God's grace, how we were able to scale up financially, it's not because we borrowed money. It was gradually. We started gradually. So start gradually. I know the burdens of what you want to do is heavy in your heart. But can you first start gradually? Are you with me? Now, the next one I'll talk about is research. I've spoken about research and why you should educate yourself. And I explained to you from the perspective of vertical conversations, why you should go upward and go vertical, planting the seed of your value and educating yourself. So number 5 thing that I want to talk about is get involved in technology. At this point in time, nobody should tell you what ChatGPT is. Really. Nobody should tell you what ChatGPT is. Nobody should be telling you how to use Canva. Nobody should be telling you what Meta AI is and what Meta AI is not. All right? So you need to get involved in technology. And the last thing I'll talk about is be passionate. Be around people that are passionate and have a drive for social change and technology. For example, look at this summit being held by Mr. Isaac. You can see how that it is because he has passion for the digital world. It is because he has passion for technology. That is why he organized this program. So you want to be around people. You want to be around people of like minds that have a passion and a drive for technology, for social change. So these are the kind of people you want to get around with. And don't forget, I said, when you recognize a seasoned person, a man that is an expert in the field, understand that you're not just learning from him. What you're doing is that you are having a vertical conversation that goes upward. But I also want to leave you with this. Please, whatsoever it is that you have in your hand, whatsoever idea, this is a time to execute it. Do you realize that right now in Nigeria, this is the time of famine? I don't know if you understand, but this is the time of famine. And we need the Josephs right now that can lay hands on nations, that can lay hands on nations by innovation, because innovation is a way. Innovation is the way by which God can entrench his dominion over the earth. So God can have dominion through your innovation. God can have dominion through your creativity. God can have dominion through your startup. Please start something now. Start something now. Nigeria right now is facing an extreme famine. What if the answer to Nigeria's problem is embedded in that which in your startup? What if the answer to Nigeria's problem is embedded in the ideas that are crystallizing in your mind? So thank you so much. And I believe I've explained sufficiently what it means to have vertical conversations for borderless digital innovations. Thank you so much.
Wow. That was awesome. This is the first time we actually engaging together. So it's a pleasure meeting you, Uncle KM. I don't know why you go with that name. Could you tell us a little bit why you came up with the Uncle KM?
Okay. So my name is Robert Abimbola Israel. So we started a platform called Kingdom Memes on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So because of the Kingdom Memes, so people now began to call me KM.
that makes sense. But
yes,
one thing I love about your talk is that you touched on a number of things that actually also it really works well for this program, because it segues from Dr. Joybert that's just finished and talk about how he started, and I see a lot of emphasis on startups. That's so beautiful. There's something you said which caught my attention. You talked about getting insight in yourself, being able to see well, which Dr. Joybert also talked about. Now, I want you to talk about your experience, because sometimes people think that, you just got there overnight, that kind of thing, especially in vertical conversations. Give us one instance of where you were able to get upward and maybe you face some roadblocks and you're able to get upward in your vertical conversations.
Okay, thank you very much. I remember when we started 2018, and I will not lie to you, sir, I failed woefully. It did not.
We all fail.
Do you know, I failed to the point, at some point, I was very suicidal.
Oh, goodness.
And yes. And, being the firstborn, the pressure that comes
Yeah.
with it. But one thing I realized is that failing is a necessary building block for success.
Yeah.
And that is one thing I've realized over time. And because I failed several times, all of a sudden I just had an epiphany and I said, come, what's going on? And I just said to myself, I have this influence. At that point, we had over 500,000 followers across the platforms. But I will call for programs, I'll call for webinars. Nobody was registering. Nobody was paying me a dime.
Wow.
I remember I'm telling you, with all the influence, with all the results, I remember showing a flyer that I had how we reach millions, 5 million people monthly, and how we amass this follower, because people will tell you, oh, okay, the thing is, we have too many quotes. We follow wealth we follow value. I did all of those things, but I wasn't getting anything. I listened to this person go for value. For Christ's sake, bro, I have value. I have results, but nobody's paying for my classes. Nobody's giving me deals. Nobody pays for anything. Sometimes we borrow credits. We owe MTN money just to upload and make people happy. Then I remember I went to Jos, and I was my spiritual father, and I told him, I said, sir, this is what's going on. I give people financial advice. The breakthrough in finances. I made $500,000 for somebody last month. I made this for this person. And he laughed. He tapped me on my shoulder. I said, Robert, he said, you need to get rugged. He said, you think finance comes by DYDX? He just laughed. And I got the message. And I immediately got into, okay, that some people can actually be wealthy. Okay, show your value. But some of us, the wealth will come by priesthood. And that thing changed my life forever. And when I began to engage in that direction, I began to see changes. Things that were not opening up. This was early last year. This was January. Wow. January, because I decided to go for like 2 weeks prayers and all of that. And I began to, I said, see, either God blessing me or I die. There must be a change of story, a change of name. And I began to engage. Sir, I'm telling you, that period, I made more money than I ever made in the last 5 years in one day.
Wow.
Yes. And this was when I realized that, okay, I think I need to stop all this. You have to aspire for Maguire, for Papaya. There is a depth. There is a power source. Honestly, there is a depth. There is a power source that sustains wealth. Yeah. And God began to open my eyes that there is such a thing as daily bread. That daily bread or bread is an allegory or something that must come daily. Anything that sustains man, either finance, either clothes, whatsoever it is, it must come daily. So the idea of salary is not even in God's economic book. Finances must come daily.
Come on now.
So when that came to my mind, I knew something tall. The next day, people began to chat me up. Hey, please, I want to have this deal with you. And I was like, where were you before? I began to get deals, creative deals for app promotions here and there. And in less than, I was like, what? I began to see money in my account, then millions. I was like, my God. So I was cheating myself all this while. This is what I'm talking about, vertical conversations. I will be cheating a generation if I tell them that certain knowledge only exists in books. There is a schooling process that teaches you things that you don't find in papers. And that is why scripture says that by me, wisdom was crying. I said, by me, kings reign and princes decree justice. There is a wisdom that comes when you begin to do an interaction. Yes.
Wow. That's so awesome, because it ties so well into what I believe as well. And one of the scriptures that inspired me was where God said, if you give up all these things, and family, farms, whatever, he said you receive 100-fold in this world and the world to come. And I have to
in this world. Yeah.
if we tap upward, we'll be able
Yes.
to bring heaven down on earth.
It's downward. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on now, come on now. I love it. I love it. We
Thank you
want
so
to just
much.
inspire people, because I think the last thing I want to talk about, and I don't know if it's a statement or a question, you mentioned about Joseph, and I don't want people to miss that part. That God is raising up Josephs right now. And
Yes.
what does that look like? It's going to be somebody that is diligent. It's going to be somebody that will not compromise their faith, regardless of what happens. Listen
Yes.
to that again, regardless of what happens. I mean, this
Regardless of what happens. Yes.
they spoke
Exactly.
against him, kind of thing,
Yes.
and he was thrown in jail. You may be on social media, and I think for you, right, when you said you
Yes.
had about 500,000, if
Yeah.
I saw your account, I'll say, man, this guy is making money. Talk about that a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, at that point, we're making so much. We had so much followers, we had so much influence, but there was nothing. Sarah, there was nothing, absolutely nothing. There was a time my fiancée came to greet me, and we're talking, and she was with my phone, and there was an alert. It was minus 53 naira in my UBA. Minus 53 naira. And I was like, UBA, you couldn't just do this when my fiancée was not around. You needed to just embarrass me. Yes. But at some point, it was until I began to tap to these power structures that goes vertical. That was when my life began to change. Now, to the question you asked about Joseph, one of the things I want to tell the people listening to us is that dark times and darkness is usually an open door for a promotion.
Come on.
So don't see darkness and what is going on. The economy is like this. No, what God is fashioning is that there is a promotion. If there was no famine in Egypt, we don't need a Joseph. So what is going on right now is there is famine, but where are the Josephs? And one thing you must understand is that Joseph was first of all having encounters, certain dreams and visions that he had dominion. Those dreams and visions that he was having, that the ships were bound to him, the stars were bound to him. This was a man that had a pathway of celestial dominion. So there must be an upward moving, just like you said. There must be an upward connection that brings downward. It says, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." It is heaven to earth. So Joseph existed at a plane. He was an invisible throne over Egypt. That was why Joseph told his people, he said, Pharaoh had made me a father. Had made me the father over Egypt. And he said, had made me a father over his house. So this man, it's just like the case of a ceremonial president and the actual president. Pharaoh was just a figurehead, but the actual president was Joseph. So the pathway is that you must have an unflinching desire that no matter what comes, I'm sticking with God. See, don't box God to that sky daddy that you pay tithe to. No, there is an innovation, an economic shift, and an economic power structure that can come with interfacing. I've realized that God is the God of kings and God of nations. That is why when the watchers were talking, they said, God ruleth in the affairs of men. See, God is the monarch, and if you want to understand dominion, rulership, leadership, economy, finance, there is a school you attend. It's called the School of the Spirit. So that is why there's wisdom. That's why Holy Spirit will teach you all things. Sir, I can tell you that there is an existing wisdom and some existing strategies from a social media management company that we have gotten because we interfaced. And I go to prayer with my book and I begin to write things. And I hear people, and I hear some things in my room begin to tell me, write this down, do it like this. And when I come out of that vision or that encounter, and when I begin to do it, sir, the kind of results we get, the kind of exceeding result we get, because I tell people every time, there is always a difference between a man that positions before men and a man that positions before God. There is always a difference. Yes.
That's so amazing. And we're going to wrap up here. One of the things I just want to say, thank you so much for joining us, number one. And number two, in other times, we focus so much on the works that we can do.
Yes.
Instead of focusing on planting seeds. Now, planting seeds have a destiny to produce after its kind